Properties of square numbers. Let us revise what is a square number. 2 twos are 4, 3 threes are 9, 10 tens are 100, and so on.
Hello everyone. So today we are here with part 2 video in which we are going to learn about squares and square roots and their properties. So we are going to learn about properties of square numbers. So we know that the first property is the squares of an even number is always even. For example, you take 2 square, you get 4, you get 4 square, you get 16, you get 6 square, you have 36, 8 square, you have 64. The square of even number is always even. Similarly, we can say that the square of an odd number is always odd. For example, 3 square is equal to 9, 1 square is equal to 1, 5 square is equal to 25, 11 square is equal to 121. So we have that the square of an odd number is always odd. So 3 is an odd number, 9 is also an odd number, 11 is odd, so the square of 11 is 121. That's also odd. We can see that the squares always have 0, 1, 4, 5, 6, 9 at the units place. What it does not have is 2, 3, 7, 8. It does not have at the unit place. So it is very clear that if a number is ending with 2, 3, 7, 8, they can never be a perfect square. Let us come down to the fourth property of the square numbers. If the unit digit ends with 1 or 9, then the square always has the unit digit 1. For example, 1 square 1, 9 square 81, 11 square 121, 19 square 361. You can see that if the 1 9 is at the unit digit, then the square of that particular number will end with 1 as the unit digit of the square. Let us come down to the fifth property. If unit digit ends with 4 or 6 and you take a square of it, the square will have the unit digit 6 always. Let us say example, 4 square 16, 6 square 36. Similarly, if you take 14 square, you get 196. If you get 16 square, you have 256, and so on. If the unit digit is 4 or 6 and you take the square of it, the unit digit that you get of the square will always be 6. You can check and verify. The sixth property is that if unit digit is 5 and you take a square of it, the answer that you get as the unit digit 5 itself. For example, 5 square is equal to 25. 25 square is equal to 625. 15 square is equal to 225. If the unit digit is 5, the square will also have the unit digit as 5 itself. Let us come down to the seventh property. If unit digit is 3 or 7, the square will end with 9. Let us see. 3 square 9, 7 square 49, 13 square 169, 17 square 289. You can see that the square ends with 9. Now we come down to the eighth property. In this eighth property, we will study that if unit digit is 2 or 8, the square ends with 4. You can check 2 square 4, 8 square 64, 12 square 144, 18 square 144. So this is the system. Let us come down to the ninth property. If the unit place is 0, for example 10, the answer you get is 100. If it is 100, you get 10,000. If here it is 10, in the square it will be 2 zeros. If here there are 2 zeros, in square it will be 4 zeros. So in the square there are even number of zeros at the end. And if it is like 1000, then it cannot be a perfect square because these are odd. To be a perfect square, there should be even number of zeros, not odd. If there is even, then it is right. If it is odd, then it is not a perfect square. This comprises of your 9th, 10th and 11th property of your textbook of properties of square.
So these are the examples of the number and the squares. Please note it down. Summarize the properties of the square numbers. Please note it down.